Let's talk about how to find adjectives, independent pronouns, and pronominal suffixes using accordance. And our target passage is Psalm 1. I'm going to begin with our Hebrew window here, just at Genesis 1. And right now my range is set to all text up here. If you don't see range down here, come over here to the right side of the search window and you'll see a plus. Click that plus. That'll bring up this section here, and this should be set to range. If it's not, you can set it to range. And then you want to set your range here to this predefined Psalm 1. Now, you should already have that predefined. If you haven't, look at my video on how to set up a search range in accordance. So now I'm going to set this to Psalm 1. That's now my range. So my search is going to bring up hits only in Psalm 1. Now I come over to my blue-gray oval here in my search window. I'm going to set that to words. And then over here, which is where I start typing on the right side, I'm going to do a left bracket. I'm going to type the word adjective. You got to spell these correctly, otherwise it'll tell you it doesn't know what you're doing. And then a right bracket. And I will then hit return. So now I see all the adjectives highlighted in Psalm 1. It looks like we see them in verse 1, verse 4, verse 5, and verse 6. So it looks like verses 2 and 3 do not have any adjectives. That's fine. So we see over here, Rishaim, that would be wicked ones. Chataim, that would be sinners. Now notice that in practice it sounds like sinner would be a noun, but these are cases of substantive adjectives. These are adjectives that are being used like nouns. So we could say wicked ones or sinful ones. So wicked is an adjective, but when it's used substantively, then we could translate wicked ones. Let's take a look at the instant details for this. I'm going to just click. Notice that the form that we see here is Rishaim. There's that eem ending. That's a masculine plural ending. Notice that the actual word here is Rasha, and we get the gloss here, basic gloss, wicked. And so we notice that this is a plural. That's why I've been translating wicked ones. So if I want to copy that into another file, like a Word file, I can highlight everything here. Then I'll copy, hit Control-C. I can also do a right-click and copy. Notice that it tells me I can do Control-C. And come over to a Word file. And then I'm going to do Control-V, or paste. Notice that the font is not looking very good right here. Calibri is terrible for Hebrew. So I'll come down to this little paste bar here and hit the very first option, which is to keep source formatting. This is going to be accordance font, which is what is in the accordance tool. Notice now that I have all of these nicely set up, formatted, and the highlighted words are still the highlighted color. So here's all my adjectives. The next thing that we're going to look for, so let me just go back to my psalm here. I'm going to go back over to my brackets. I'm going to get rid of the word adjective, and I'm going to type pronoun. Now actually we're not going to find any pronouns because there are no independent pronouns in Psalm 1, but I'm going to do it anyway. So pronoun, and then I'll hit enter, and it says there are no verses in the current range of this Bible which fit the current search entry. Fair enough. Let me just show how this could work for something else, though. I'm going to go back to all text. I'm going to set my range to all text. Now I'm going to do pronoun. Notice that I've got my first independent pronoun here is in Psalm 2:11. I'm sorry, Genesis 2:11. Genesis 2:11. If I come to the Psalms, notice that the first time that we see a pronoun in the Psalms is Psalm 2, and the last one before that is in Malachi 3:23. So there are none in Psalm 1, and Accordance will let you know that. The last thing we're going to look at is for pronominal suffixes. So let me go back and set my range to Psalm 1 again. Come back up here, and I'm going to backspace my way through to get to just my empty brackets. Now I'm going to type in suffix, S-U-F-F-I-X. That's the keyword in Accordance for a pronominal suffix. I'm going to hit return. And now notice I see in Psalm 1 there are some suffixes. They're red highlighted here. You can only see them at the end of the words. And so I have some in Psalm 1:2, verse 3, and verse 4. And those are the only verses that have suffixes. And to copy those, I'll do the same thing. I will highlight the whole thing, Control C. I will come over to my document, I'll come down to the bottom of that, and then Control V, paste. Again, my font looks horrible because Calibri is terrible for Hebrew. So I'll come over to my little paste option window here, hit the first one, which is keep source formatting, and there I have it now with my pronominal suffixes highlighted in the verses where they appear. And all of these look like they are third masculine singular suffixes. Here the hey is a helping letter. We're actually looking for this wow-like word. So if there's a wow here, actually this is a vowel. This is a shurek, it's a vowel letter. But the fact that it has the wow is what's significant. For instance, over here we have a vowel letter, but it's got a wow in it. It's a holum wow. And so it's also a third masculine singular. We see a few more up here, and then down here we have a noon. This could technically be either first common plural or third masculine singular. And the noon is also a helping consonant for a third masculine singular, or it could be its own first common plural suffix. They overlap. Here it's going to be third masculine singular. I just know that by context because we're talking about chaff which the wind drives it away. So this is the it of chaff. So first common plural doesn't fit here. In any case, this is how to find adjectives and independent pronouns and pronominal suffixes, and we only found adjectives and pronominal suffixes in Psalm 1.